Thank you, Nathan. I'd like to echo your words. Thank you to the Office of Social Justice and all the other organizations co-sponsoring this today, and for all of you for being here. It's so heartening to see such a turnout for an event on this important issue. So my name is Bryan Berghoef, as was introduced. Originally was a resident of this neighborhood, was baptized around the corner at Seymour CRC, so it's good to be back here. I'm a graduate of Calvin Theological Seminary, pastor at Holland United Church of Christ, father of 4, and husband to my wife, Christy. And because that wasn't keeping me busy enough, decided to run for Congress in the 2nd District. And I've been, in my role as a pastor and community organizer, an advocate for welcome for refugees and for those seeking asylum. And I feel strongly, along with many of you, that the way we are currently treating vulnerable people in this nation, both citizens and non-citizens, both documented and underdocumented, is morally unconscionable. It is biblically unsupportable, and we have to do better. I'm a first-generation American, which of course means my parents weren't born here. They were born in the Netherlands. How they wound up in West Michigan was just coincidence, I guess. My dad came as a child, my mom as a young adult, and they came seeking a place of welcome, seeking a new place to call home. And now they were not refugees, but they were human beings who made the assessment that what they were experiencing in their country of origin was not as ideal as the promise of the place that they were going to, this country. And the welcome they received here in West Michigan is the welcome that every human being crossing our border who's earnestly seeking a new home ought to receive. A key difference, I think, in the reception they received versus what we see happening so often currently is that they, frankly, were white Europeans. An official in the current administration has recently suggested that perhaps we ought only take in white, educated Europeans into this country. But such an approach, you would agree, is a betrayal of our own history and our own ideals. A history in which people from the world over find a home within our borders. And we've already heard from a few of those here this morning. And when they come, they bring all the inherited cultural wisdom which adds to the rich and diverse social tapestry that really does make this nation great. Just this past Thursday, 128 new Americans were naturalized as citizens in Holland, and they represented 50 different countries. That's the America that we know and love. But the way we have been treating asylum seekers and refugees at our southern border, criminalizing them, detaining them, denying them entry, dehumanizing them, that is an affront to the image of God inherent in every single human being. And so now I think is a time to voice opposition as we heed the biblical call of welcoming the stranger. The scriptures make it very clear that we cannot say that we love God whom we cannot see if we cannot love and do not love our brothers and our sisters whom we can see. How we are treating refugees is a reflection on how we are treating Jesus. And I'm so grateful for the organizations, the individuals, the churches who have long been advocates, workers and welcomers to refugees and asylum seekers in West Michigan. And many of you represent that effort and that history. And I think that's a beautiful thing that we need to continue to model, encourage, and be a voice for. And so in that spirit of welcome, as Melissa already noted, we must oppose the proposed action of zeroing out all refugees that might come into this country, which has been a proposed action for next year. We must never confuse what the law is with what justice is. The words of Jesus might come to us today in this way. Lord, when did we see you in a detention center, hungry, unclothed, and in tears? Lord, when did we see you crossing the desert with a child on your back, hoping to find water and shelter. Lord, when did we see you crossing the river, hoping against hope to find on the other side safe harbor? An old rabbi once asked his pupils how they could tell when the night had ended and the day had begun. Could it be, asked one of the students, that when you see an animal in the distance, you can tell the difference of whether it's a sheep or a dog? No, said the rabbi. Another pupil offered, well, could it be that when you see a tree in the distance, it's when you can tell whether it's a fig tree or a peach tree? No, said the rabbi. Well, what is it then, said the pupils. He said, it is when you can look on the face of any man or any woman and see that it is your brother or your sister. Because if you cannot see that, it is still night. Thank you.